Yeah, no, they got murder stomped.
Yeah.
Tennessee looked like a pretender, but I'll tell you what that said to me in all honesty, and tell me you guys on the panel what you thought.
I think I'm with you already.
It vindicated Oregon, because Tennessee's a really good team, and Tennessee looked like trash against Georgia.
That's a great.
And as I'm watching the game, I'm thinking, hey guys, that Oregon was like, hey, me too. Welcome to our support group. It's Tuesday nights at the Knights of Columbus Hall.
Yeah, that's a great point, Tony, because wasn't like 2 or 3 weeks, it was probably 3 weeks ago, that Tennessee went into LSU and boat raced them. What was the score?
44-13.
Yeah, Tennessee humiliated LSU. Tennessee made LSU look like a trash heap joke.
There you go.
And Georgia murder stomped Tennessee. Georgia guys. I think Georgia. Okay, you guys are gonna yell at me for this. You know what Georgia reminds me a little bit of? Georgia reminds me a little bit of like 2005 USC, who had some crazy wild games, but was just exponentially better than most of the other teams they were playing. And
they had a much better defense than we have.
Yeah.
Much better defense.
They do. Sorry, they have a much better defense. But my point is, like, when we dwell on Georgia struggling, they let Kent State play around for a little while, and they looked pretty bad against Mizzou, but they won. That doesn't take away from the fact that we've known since day one Georgia was a great team, and I think that what this has sort of said is like, hey, Tennessee's a really good team, and they got destroyed by Georgia because Georgia's great. Oregon is a great team who also got destroyed by Georgia in week 1 because they're great. And I think that it kind of actually removes some of the stain that Oregon had.
Well, you want my take? I think there's one great team, and then there's a lot of very good teams. And that one great team is showing that they're the one great team, and the other teams are showing that they're damn good teams, but they aren't great.
They're vulnerable.
Everybody's vulnerable.
Exactly. Michigan was vulnerable for a half, right?
Yeah.
Against Rutgers, and then they poured it on.
And then they poured it on.
Like a very good team, right?
The second half was comical.
And crushed them.
Yeah, as Alex points out, yeah, they did crush them in the second half.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight touchdowns. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
They made the adjustment and they just crushed from there.
Yeah.
Hey, Tony, I don't know if you guys have mentioned this at all, but I apologize if you have, but hey, let's give it up for the Stanford tree, right? He got dissed for saying
Stanford hates fun.
That's right. And guess what? Washington State believed it and kicked their ass. How about that?
They did. And the Stanford student section was chanting, Stanford hates fun.
There you go. Because I saw that score and I'm like, oh, go Wazoo. Because another couple,
karma's a bitch. That's why.
Another couple that was with us, they're Coug grads, and so they loved it. Like I was telling the story about the Stanford tree and all that, and the Cougs just kicked their butt tonight. So the Cougs are going to be another team. They're 5-4. They're going to get another win, and I think that's going to be 7 Pac-10 teams or Pac-12. I'm sorry, that are going to be bowl eligible once the Cougs get another win. How great is that?
And by the way, speaking of the Cougs, if you guys haven't seen, I'll tell you who made Brian Kelly look like a fool today was Jake Dickert, because Jake Dickert has moves.
Oh,
and the Twitter and YouTube video and TikTok videos of Jake Dickert breaking it down in the locker room are a sight to behold. Jake Dickert's got moves.
And the one thing you're absolutely right. We talk about Washington State. When you look at them, look at the teams they've lost to. They lost to Oregon. They lost to USC. They lost to
Utah,
and then
Oregon State.
Those are four. Those are losses. And
those are good teams.
Like again against USC, they gave USC all they could to handle for a big part of the game, and then they got pulled away. So they are a solid team. They give the youth all they could handle. So I'm happy. I think this year in the bowl things line up properly. I think that USC and the rest of the Pac-12 is going to represent our conference very well. It's not going to be the crap we've had in previous.
Tim, are we going to win our first bowl in 3 years?
What's that?
Are we going to win a bowl for the first time in 3 years?
Tell me who our opponent is, and then I'll answer that question.
Oh, not just us. I mean, the whole conference. Just
Oh, we will
one.
win. Yeah, I will go
Just
on a
one.
limb.
Just
I will
one.
go on a limb and say we will a bowl game this year. Yes.
We might sweep.
I like that attitude, Connor. Connor calls it out. We might. By the way, LBC, you are looking
Rick.
fly in the tux. You're making it work. I like it.
Looking
You
good,
like
my
it?
man.
Popping the tie, Hey,
I like it.
Connor, dude. I was watching that game on Friday night.
It was a great game.
So, yeah, it was a great game. But let me ask you, because, you're invested in that game, obviously. What did you think of the Pac-12 refs in that game? Acceptable or unacceptable?
Unacceptable.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
that's not – we had the worst crew. We had Mothershed.
You had Mothershed.
Yeah.
By the way,
So we got Mothershedded.
We had the crew, and I other than Mothershed, who's sort of a character, I don't like to dox refs because the refs actually are like really successful commercial real estate people and stuff like that. But we had the crew tonight that actually has worked college football playoff games, worked the LSU national championship game, worked the Pac-12 championship game. And do you notice like how the USC game tonight had no referee controversies at all?
That's great.
Not one. Not one meaningful anything.
I was
Certainly no incompetence.
There was a pretty bad PI in the end zone. We only got one quick review of it on the large screen. But man, it looked like the dude just flopped. I think I texted you, Tony. I said, I've seen Vlade Divac in the 90s do better flops than that thing. The guy just fell over. There was like almost zero contact. The guy fell over and got the flag in the end zone.
Yeah, that one was maybe a little debatable, but I mean, there were no like egregious reffing errors.
Yeah, they're able
we
to
see with Mothershed, or like we see with Mark. I forget his last name. The other guy that did the Utah game. Their crew are atrocious.
They were able to count to 11, which was good. That's a step up. That's something
to count to 11. Unlike Mothershed.
They realize they don't start the clock. 5 seconds. Oh, there was a guy. So you talked about the crowd. There was a guy that had a sign that said, "Hey, we looked. We're still missing our 5 seconds." That was pretty damn funny. That was one of the better signs I saw in the stadium.
Oh, what is that?
Sorry, that's my oven preheating.
Oh, sorry.
Late night snack.
Late
was
night
Gentry
snack.
back tonight?
Was who?
Gentry.
No.
Okay.
No, we missed him too. I mean, Alex, I got bad news for you. Plummer would not have looked like as much of a hero with Gentry in there.
Now, Gentry would have disrupted all those passing lanes that we saw, early on. There'd been a lot more. I think there'd been a lot more. He's guy's a walking disruption. But we're also missing. We didn't have Addison or Mario Williams back as well. Sure that. Although Michael Williams did step up, Taj played great. Those guys, you can't fill those guys. Those guys are top notch. And Raylan Goforth was out again, Rick. So, two games in a row without your middle linebacker, your Mike, the quarterback of your defense, and we're gonna. It shouldn't be this far of a step back, but for 3 quarters we did great, and all of a sudden it's just like the wheels came off after that onside kick.
You know what? I'm not concerned. I mean, obviously, I didn't see the game. I just got updates, and then what you gentlemen just told me about who was missing. Hey, it's a win. It doesn't matter. We're 8-1. We go on to Colorado. I don't expect those guys to be back for Colorado because they're going to save them up for UCLA. And that's the game that matters, all right? That is going to be the epic game. And then we get Notre Dame. And you know what? I haven't been to church for so long, but I prayed, and he answered my prayers 2 weeks in a row. I got to go to Vegas this week and put all my chips on the table because I am flying so freaking high right now. The Domers are 6-3. They're going to be ranked in the top 25, and we're going to go back to back, just like Carson Palmer did. Do you remember that? Remember Carson Palmer? And I feel it for Caleb Williams. He's a G. Good things are going to be happening, and dare I say it? I won't say it, but I feel good.
Don't jinx it. I'm thinking the same thing. I think I said like 3 weeks ago.
The path is easier.
I'm going to James Brown. I feel good. I mean,
I really think that
I'm feeling good, baby.
I think they're going to he's going to continue to be able to put up. We were just talking about it. Tony and I were joking about the fact that the overs we set at, what did you say, 300?
No, 200. No, Tim, that's ridiculous. The USC over under is going to be only at 284.
Because Caleb Williams is going to light up
300.
UCLA
It'll only be
secondary.
284. That'll be the over under.
He's going to light
make
up
the playoffs?
UCLA secondary. He's been lighting up. He put up 411 yards last week. He had 360 tonight. He's going to crush Colorado. He's going to, by the end of the season, I called it about 3 weeks ago. He's going to put up some crazy numbers down the stretch here. I don't know about Notre Dame, but I know in those other games that he's going to put up some crazy numbers. And if Stroud and I'm sure the fact that the games today, quarterbacks that were in the lead to win the Heisman Trophy, they got knocked back a little bit today. So we'll see.